Having a passion for racing, Jann Mardenborough, Archie Madekwe, takes the opportunity to compete for a chance to win a spot at Gran Turismo Academy, where he would have the opportunity to race with real athletic drivers. Gran Turismo is based on a true story of an underdog whose passion for driving takes him to extreme heights when the opportunity presents itself. Changing the story a bit to fit a film's structure, we remain close to the actual story. Although there were several aspect changes from its real-life counterparts, I feel that the changes were an adequate one to fit the structure a movie has. Apart from that, Gran Turismo is a very character-driven movie that follows the willingness and strive one is willing to do for one's passion and dreams. We begin the movie with a small montage depicting Kazunori Yamaichi and the development/creation of Gran Turismo to allow racing to be accessible to everyone. We then cut to Jann Mardenborough, who sets up his new wheel, talking to his friend about racing someone, getting to know his character as someone who's good at racing and does not see eye to eye with his father, who only thinks of games as a waste of time. We also see him spend a bit of time customizing his car, a setup that will pay off later. We then see Danny Moore, Orlando Bloom, whose idea of a GT Academy sparks Nissan's interest, creating the pivotal moment for our protagonist. But what I like most of all is that Jann got the opportunity because he has a fast record time in the game to begin with. It wasn't just chance that chose him. His actions got him to be selected to participate in the chance to go to GT Academy. Trying to get a chief inspector for his program to continue, he resorts to Jack Salter, David Harbour. But Jack doesn't agree with his standpoint. It's dangerous, not ideal, not logical. Something we've heard several times when it comes to trying to reach for a dream. It becomes more apparent that part of the antagonistic role this movie has is more so the idea of proving people right that chasing a dream isn't all what it is cut out to be, instead of a physical standard antagonist, although it is present in the movie. Then we go back to the Mardenborough's residence. Here we get a chance to sympathize and empathize with our protagonist, when his father tells him what probably a lot of us have heard. Do what you want, in the realm of reality. That isn't for us. Do you know how much it'll cost? Our protagonist's love for racing worries his parents because they don't see the potential Jann has, because at the moment, Jann is just playing video games, something every parent deems unnecessary and a waste of time. Especially knowing that Jann dropped out of school and is always playing the racing simulation. And now we get to meet one of our physical antagonists, who is similar but different from our protagonist. Both love driving, but one isn't willing to take advice from a has-been. One is so delusional and prideful that he ends up being emotionally aggressive when things appear to steer the wrong way, something our hero doesn't do. This allows us to root for our protagonist and dislike the antagonist. It also serves as motivation for Jack to accept Danny's proposal, which would lead to the catalyst for our protagonist. With Gran Turismo around the corner, Jann's father took him to work in the hopes that it'll knock some sense into him, but Jann disagrees and rushes to attend the event. When he finishes in first, we the audience get happy for the protagonist and mentally congratulate him. And now arriving at GT Academy, Jann sees that legitimate racing is harder than what it seems. Slowly, one by one, people get eliminated, and what I do like about this montage is we see everybody in it, and not just Jann. We understand the situation better because we see how things can escalate, showing that it is risky and dangerous. What I also like is that Jann isn't number one. He still needs to learn, to grow. And with his name being last, there is a possibility of him going home, and we worry for him. When he crashes the car with Jack inside, we get a sense of shock, but as Jann stated, the brakes are glazed. Although I wasn't sure how customizing a car in a simulator helps you identify if the brakes are glazed on an actual car, I can still follow along. Jann manages to escape elimination. It is also the start of Jann's and Jack's friendship because Jack sees how determined Jann is, something he felt in himself long ago, and as we'll come to learn, doesn't want Jann to make the same mistake as him. From here, the movie continues following structure as Jann races with the big leagues. Not being welcomed, he gives it his all and gets his FIA license. Once he gets his license, he can continue competing. We've been invested, we've seen how the races go, and we're ready to see where it goes. But then, Jann goes airborne and gets into a freak accident. In this gut-punching scene, we see just how dangerous this sport can be. Not wanting to continue on account of someone's death caused by him, Jack reasons with him, letting him know that he understands what he's going through because he's been in that same spot. And because he didn't do anything about it, his life has been filled with those pesky what-ifs moments, regretting not continuing with his passion, see where it goes, something we can relate to. In this nice and heartfelt moment, Jann takes the keys and continues driving. And now we prepare for the Le Mans race. This was a very nicely put together scene, or sequences of scenes. We get a lot of action, acting, and character development and growth. I'm not much into racing, but I'm invested. I'm there. I want Jann to win. And when he finally steps on the podium and drinks champagne, I can't help but smile. Especially now that everyone cares for him, even his pit crew. In short, Gran Turismo is about the characters. It deals with racing, but it isn't just a racing movie. It is a character-driven movie which not a lot of people end up liking because of a lack of action or audience connection. But personally, I love movies that are story-focused, which a lot of the times happen to be character-driven. It can get difficult to make a movie this way because you can lose your audience's attention, making them say it was a boring movie. However, I felt Gran Turismo was well executed in this regard, because not only can we connect with our hero, but we also have some action sequences in the form of racing. I don't know much about racing or this sport, but I followed along and even enjoyed these scenes. It's one of the reasons why I really enjoy movies with such heavy characters, especially when it is well acted. The acting was pretty phenomenal in the movie. From both Archie and David, their acting really brought weight to their characters, allowing me to care for these characters. I won't lie, I did get a bit emotional at some parts because I could put myself in Jann's shoes. I've been told that maybe my dreams aren't meant to be, or that it may not be possible to achieve it. And although I can see where they're coming from, Jann puts it nicely.
It's what I love. It's what I'm good at.
And when Steve, Jimon Hanzu, shows up for the final race and accepts that he hasn't been supporting his son properly, both actors give a pretty good performance, tearing me up a bit. One of the only negatives about the movie is a personal gripe. We were told of Jann's position in various ways, through dialogue, position markers above the car, position tabs on screen, similar to the ones you'll probably see on TV, and the occasional freeze frame with huge text. The only issue I had was when we were told of Jann's positions using various of these. Jann is in 6th place. We then see through the car markers that he is, in fact, in 6th. Remaining on this shot, he passes 2 cars, and now the indicator says 4th. We cut to another angle where the frame will freeze and say that he's in 4th place. We know he's in 4th place already because we were shown it, yet they continue telling us. To me, it just felt odd.
Alright, 4th place! All we gotta do is hold, and we got that license.
That, and I will say that some aspects of the movie could have benefited if we got a scene or two to introduce it beforehand. For example, the father's connection to playing in a sport. Jann puts his team's emblem on his helmet because he's racing for his father. His love of racing is due to his father, and to show his appreciation to him, he puts a sticker on his helmet. It's a touching and emotional scene, but could have hit harder if we got a chance to have an interaction in regard to this emblem, or his father's love for soccer. Though a minor detail that doesn't necessarily need a scene to demonstrate it, I still feel it could have been cool to see that scene. Overall, Gran Turismo is a very heartwarming movie as we follow along Jann, racing through every obstacle to prove that he belongs. It's a character-driven movie, meaning the story is about the character and not the action the characters do. It's not about racing, but one strive to achieve the improbable. It focuses more on character and character dynamics rather than action, which makes it feel more personal, more intimate. The movie does have to deal with racing, and we do see racing, but at the heart of it, it's about doing what it takes to reach one's dream, fighting against everyone who tries pushing you away, telling you you don't belong.